Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Today we're looking at 5 awesome things that are coming in Season 25 off the back of the 2.7.2 PTR for Diablo 3. Now we'll link the current patch notes. They've been through one iteration in PTR. It's likely we'll get some further changes to some of this stuff, so this could be updates to the season theme, it could be some more balance changes to some of these sets and reworked items, but at the moment this is based off what we had when we finished the PTR. Now there is currently no season end date for season 24 and there is currently no season start date for 25. Now it may well be that both of these things come very soon after the release of this video, so you just have to keep your eye on the Diablo 3 forums for that. But before we do jump in and take a look at everything, as always, a thumbs up really does brighten my day. Comments help out the channel considerably. Is this a season you're excited for? You know, give me a rating out of 10. Honestly, I'm pretty 9 out of 10 pumped because I think this is going to be a pretty good season. Obviously, colouring that slightly is the fact that we've had just so long from season 24 to season 25, so I probably would be very excited anyway, but genuinely, hand on heart, I do think this is going to be a pretty good season. So let's jump in and take a look at the first awesome thing, which is 100% the season theme. So season theme is going to add new legendary gems called soul shards. 3 of these will go in your helm and 4 of them will go in your weapon. You can only have 2 at a time, so 1 in your helm, 1 in your weapon. They've got legendary powers on them, but you have to rank them up with embers, hellfire embers that you have to find. They're like the kind of the green square gift things that you find. It's a similar thing to that, so it is going to be quite hard to find those because obviously depending on your playtime, you know, you might find quite a lot of those in a season. Some people might only find, say, 10. So, you know, it is a kind of season theme that is going to help people because these gems are very powerful. But the people who play the most will get the most reward out of this, I think, because the embers will allow multiple goes at upgrading. Now, the gems have all of the base effects of all of the current gems that go in your helm or the current gems in your weapon. So let's say you're going to put a soul shard in your helm, you're going to get the effect if you had a ruby, if you had a topaz, if you had an emerald, or if you had a diamond. So you're going to get cooldown, you're going to get life percent from an amethyst, you're going to get extra XP, you're going to get resource cost reduction. And the same for the weapon, you're going to get life per hit, you're going to get crit damage, you're going to get elite damage, all the stuff in there, thorns damage. So basically there's no disadvantage to putting the gems in, and if this was all they did, you know, it would still be a decent thing because it's giving you all of the gem bonuses. But each individual gem has got its own unique legendary property, which is fixed, so you always get that same one. And then as you rank them up with the embers, you will unlock a second stage of the legendary power, and this is like a choice of 3. So each of them have got 3 choices, so, you know, theoretically we've got 21 different combinations. Now you do also get a few stats on these things as well, so when you factor that in, it could take quite a long time to find the exact soul shard that you want. But personally, I think that's a pretty good thing because one of the reasons that has made Season 24 so successful, in my opinion, has been the ethereals, you know, the loot chase to find the correct thing with the correct power. You know, it really does elongate that because I think one of the best things about Diablo 3 is its casual nature, the fact that we can blast through it. But if we can extend that loot chase just a little bit, it is a good thing. And I think that's why ethereals were so popular. And I think it's going to be the same. Now, well, what do the soul shards do? Well, they range from all sorts of stuff. You can get, you know, significant buffs to pet damage. You can get damages, increased poison damage. You can get things like a circle that goes on the ground that melts everything. There's things that offer damage reduction, pick up orb progress. You know, there really is a kind of mixed bag in here. There's things like it increases your cooldown, but gives you more damage depending on whether you've got skills on cooldown. You know, as I say, things aren't final, but it is quite exciting. Now, as always with ARPGs, as always with Diablo 3, it does look like there are going to be some meta options. It does look like it's not going to be totally balanced between all of these 21 different options, but again, we might have some further changes, and all in all, I think there's going to be some very interesting combinations that we can make with this. You can really feel the power. If you do get the correct one, it is going to be Probably more powerful than Ethereal's. Again, we'll just have to see how it goes with the unlocks, but it is looking like whatever juice we had in Season 24, it has gone up. And we've got some interesting things like Thorn's Bomb can now crit, so Thorn's builds can crit. Any pet build is very strong, so yeah. In terms of overall power, good. A season should be powerful. In terms of interest, I think, yeah, very high, because you've got all this loot to get. You've got to get the soul shards. You've got to get them upgraded. So all in all, 10 out of 10 for the season theme. I think it just looks amazing. Now, the second awesome thing is actually going to be a rework build, and this is the Marauder Demon Hunter. So this is the sentry build. You pop down the sentries, they duplicate your skills, or some of them, add a bunch of damage. Now, this has been on and off a kind of build for a little while. We've had, Marauder mixed with Natalia and that type of thing. But this is just a straight Marauder buff. It's very powerful. It's quite versatile because we can use things like Cluster Arrow or Multi-Shot. Does look like it's going to be one of the easier builds to get to the very, very end of the game. So if you're getting to, say, 2.5k Paragon and putting on some augments, which this season will be easier than ever, which we will talk about in a little bit, then this is certainly a build that can go to 150 solo. DH also did get a shadow buff, but honestly, I think the fact that we've got Marauder coming back, and the reason I think this is particularly awesome is because if you've played Diablo 3 over the last, well, I don't know, maybe 12 months or so since the Gears of Dreadlands come out, you'll probably know that's been very dominant for the Demon Hunter. It's been the best key build, the best bounty build, the best solo speed farm build, and the best push build as well. Hopefully, and I think it will be if they fix one of the bugs in the legendary gems or the soul shards, Marauder will be the top push build for the Demon Hunter. And it is really nice. I always enjoy it when we get a speed build that is different to the best push build. So I'm going to build this next season. In the background, we've got some footage of me messing around with the first go. You will be able to clear very high, even as a casual player. And obviously, those pro players will easily do 150 with this, so that is pretty good. The third awesome thing is also going to be another build change. This is one that's close to my heart. It's one of the first sets that I build, and this is the Zunimassa Witch Doctor. Now, the Zuni set itself hasn't changed. In fact, none of the supporting items have changed, but Lakumba's ornament, which are the braces that the Witch Doctor uses for damage reduction, have been buffed significantly. So the way Witch Doctor used to work is you'd get 6% damage reduction for every soul harvest stack, up to, it was either 5 or 10 depending on which weapon you used, so you could get up to 60% damage reduction. Generally what happened though is you died, and then you'd have to build your stacks back up, and if you died on a single target tough enemy, for example a Rift Guardian, it just felt really bad. It was very hard to get the build going again because you just didn't have the damage reduction. The braces have been buffed so that you only potentially need at least one stack of Soul Harvest to get that damage reduction, and it will add extra damage reduction for your stack, so a great change. And this makes Zuni viable for casual players, which honestly it never has been before. It's always been a very powerful build, but it's just been so squishy that you need almost like 3,000 Paragon points to have any hope of playing it, because something farts next to you or sneezes on you and you just drop down dead. Now, again, playing a lot of Diablo 2 Resurrected lately, it is super cool to see the fetishes shooting out the darts. So, if you are coming back for the season from Diablo 2 Resurrected, this could be a really cool build to play. Fetishes in Diablo 2 Resurrected can be nasty, they can wreck you, so you can use them to your advantage and wreck shop in Diablo 3. And the fourth awesome thing is another Witch Doctor build, and this is a complete rework to the Arachyr set. This is the spider set, and I'm pleased to see Blizzard and the dev team are actually embracing that kind of like spider theme. So we've got a rework whereby the Spider Queen is kind of like on a leash. It's like you've got this web in between you and the giant Spider Queen. And as that kind of tags enemies with the web, you can then throw corpse spiders on stuff and do a lot of damage. Now, this Zuni could well turn out to be the top Witch Doctor build. It looks like it does a lot of damage. We've got a huge stacking effect here with the Arachyr spiders. We've got some supporting legendary items like a belt. So again, Arachyr, I've personally always hated this set. Fire Bats is one of the worst builds in this game because you just stand still and it's just not my thing. So I'm super excited to play this next season. Again, I've had a play of it on PTR. It's incredibly powerful. I couldn't really notice much difference between this and the Zunis. Maybe arguably the Arachyr was a little bit easier to play. But if you're going to pick Witch Doctor, then you've got two, well, not two new builds. You've got an entire new build to play with, and the Zuni very powerful. So again, Arachyr, love spiders. They're always super cool. It's nice to see this being embraced. So pretty good change. Now the fifth and final awesome thing we've got is, I don't know, a bit of a fudge maybe, because it does relate to the season theme, and it is the Soul Shards again. But it's not necessarily using them how you would think, so slapping them into your helm and weapon for the extra power and the legendary effects. It's actually going to be two really cool utility changes, two things that you can do with these Soul Shards. So like in Season 24, you could salvage an Ethereal and you get all sorts of goodies out of it. When you salvage the Soul Shards in Season 25, you will get, on a random roll, it will be either 3 Imperial Gems or a Flawless Gem, so the top gem. Now, one of the pain in the butts about grinding out augments often is the gem chase. You do have to spend a bit of time collecting gems. The actual Soul Shards are going to drop very often in Season 25. The drop rate does seem very high. Even from level 1 you can find them, which is obviously very nice. So you're going to have quite a lot of these Soul Shards. And rather than just collect them up as you wait for your embers to come in to upgrade them, if you do end up with a stockpile, you can certainly break them down. You can get yourself some gems, which is pretty cool. But we're going to save the absolute best for last. This is my favourite thing that you can do with these Soul Shards. And that is that you can actually use them for augments. So let's say you're upgrading a Soul Shard. You're looking for one of those 3 secondary legendary properties to activate. You get bad RNG, you get bad luck, and you end up with something that you do not want. So you've got a rank 3. You've invested your legendary embers in it. You would normally be quite pissed off at this point. Well, the good news is that you can use the Soul Shard in lieu of a legendary gem as an augment. Now, normally you rank up your legendary gems. The level of the gem times by 5 is the number of main stat points you get when you do your augment. So a level 100 gem will give you 500 main stat. The way the Soul Shards are going to work is if you do a rank 0 one and augment it, you'll get a 50 times 5 main stat. For a rank 1, you'll get 75 times 5 main stat. For a rank 2, you'll get 100 times 5 main stat, and then at the top one, you'll get it as if you had a legendary gem of 125. So a rank 3 Soul Shard is worth 625 main stat, and you could get that. You could be super lucky with the RNG, and you could get a bunch of the embers early on, and then you can have these almost kind of like free augments if you don't want to use the Soul Shard. So I think Blizzard done really well here, because it means that even if you get bad luck with the Soul Shards, they're still going to be incredibly useful to you. Either, you can either break them down for gems, or you can use them for augments. So really, it kind of stops any kind of negative feeling about the Soul Shards. Like, finding them is always going to be good. Finding the embers is always going to be good. Those things are both going to be exciting. And honestly, I think this is going to be the best season that we've seen in this game. And rightly so, because obviously the whole idea with this season is it's tying in with the 25th anniversary of Diablo 1, which is one of my all-time favourite games. This is where it all started for me, going back into that dungeon, scaring the shit out of myself and dying repeatedly as the butcher smashed my arse into the ground. Right, that is it, guys. There are some other changes. We've had a Rathma rework. We've got a Firebird adjustment on the Wizard. As I say, we're hoping for further changes. We always like a little bit of tinkering in between PTR and season launch. Hopefully we get the dates soon. But that's it. I'll link all that stuff in the description. So if you want to read it yourself, you absolutely can do. I've been the Filthy Casual. I hope you stay safe. I hope you're enjoying the season. And remember, let me know out of 10 what you're going to give this. I'm saying 9. I think it's going to be an absolute belter. Take it easy. Peace.